Hey everybody. Hey, what's up? Let me know if you can hear some noise in the background. I will handle it accordingly. I hope you guys are having a wonderful, beautiful Sunday. I'm here a little bit early than I usually am. Normally, I come on here a lot later now, but I don't know. I gotta stay disciplined. I gotta keep a consistent time. We know that I come here on Tuesdays and Thursdays, Tuesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. Now, we know that on Sundays, I do Reddit Story Sundays, and then on Tuesdays and Fridays, I game. And then I yap if I feel like yapping. But I need a concrete time. I need to go back to being on schedule with live streaming and connecting with my supporters. Hi, James. Let me know if you hear any noise in the background. My boyfriend is talking to his sister, so. But yeah, I want to come here and I want you to join me in reading some Reddit stories. I also want to talk about some pop culture stuff real quickly. I don't really have a lot to talk about pop culture wise, except for like Lotto. I want to talk about Lotto. Because she's Lotto's pregnant. Oh, and I wanted to talk about Cardi B's new hairline. So let me pull that up. And like the issues I have with hair care lines. This employee was flirting with me at McDonald's earlier. Ooh la la. Was she cute? Were they cute? Um so let me pull up. So I want to talk about Cardi B's new hair care line, the discourse around that. She's adorable. Oh my god, well you gotta talk to her. You gotta date her. You gotta take her out on a date. If you can, if you can. If anything, be friends, but you gotta talk to her. I'm glad you're talking to people. I'm glad you're connecting. And you know, James, I'm glad you're not a weirdo. There's so many guys nowadays that are just weirdos. No, okay. Okay. There's so many guys nowadays being perceived as weirdos. From like the lonely male epidemic to these rabbit holes that are out here. The folks are still talking about the Manosphere documentary that Louis Theroux came out with. I am quite honestly, I'm over it. Like I'm all the way over the Manosphere documentary. Like it happened. It is what it is. Let's move on. Like that's where I'm at with it. I'm like, okay, girl, we gotta move on. And the reason why is because it's a part of it's a part of the culture, or like not the culture, but the cycle of the manosphere and of like those rabbit hole pipeline low hanging fruit communities, is that they work uh in like a symbiotic form with how people respond and receive them. And so on one half you have people who obviously agree with every and anything that they say, and then on the other half you have people who don't agree with any of the shit that they say and are constantly critiquing, constantly raking on, constantly exposing, you know? Oh, okay. I always try to make my best to make women feel comfortable when I talk to her. Okay, that's good. That's good. It almost convinces me. I did a review of this. I did a review of this doctor on YouTube, a video review where she was talking about like what men are supposed to be versus what men are, or are what men are versus like what men truly are supposed to be. Basically, it was dismantling like the gender war discourse, right? So I remember I did the video about that, and I don't believe. Okay, so I believe patriarchy exists as a system, and it's very toxic. With that in mind, I just don't believe that there are so like, sure, men benefit from patriarchy, but it's just like, I'd like to think that the ones who are radicalized by manosphere content are few and far in between, and then there's just guys being guys. And I'm still hard on guys being guys because they're complacent with a lot of things, and then they still can be sexist, and they can still be problematic and misogynistic, you know, and chauvinistic on all of that. But like, there's like a small, at least for adult men, there has to be. Maybe it's a little bit bigger, I don't know, but James, what I'm trying to say is it's good, and I like that you are making her feel comfortable when you talk to her, and you make other women feel comfortable. And I don't know, I'm kind of tired of talking about the manosphere and gender war nonsense. Even though it was really good, the documentary was unsurprising, but it was just interesting to see like all the behind the scenes of this, not the nonsense that these men like do and promote. But I don't know, dude. I don't know. It just feels like beating a dead horse at this point. Like, we know these guys aren't shit, and they know they aren't shit, and they know that they're, I mean, some of them might believe that they're not conning their audience, but they absolutely are, and selling them a lifestyle that they don't even live themselves. And so at this point, we really should just move on, you know, like, let's just move on, like, just ignore them and maybe they'll go away, you know. Like I said, my biggest fear is that while like a lot of the manosphere, like a lot of them are like big, huge conspiracy theorists that hate the Jews, right? And they want to take down the satanic Jewish cabal that Epstein has facilitated. In the same breath, get the same resources and power that these proverbial evil Jews and the satanic cabal have, right? And I think that's my biggest criticism of them. It's like, you're no better than the men that you mock and critique. You're no better than, you know, the hyper conservative billionaire tech bro Republicans who are trying to control the world. Like, you want exactly what they have, and you're willing to roll over and play dumb if it means you can get a fat, juicy paycheck cut for you. And then in the same breath say F Israel. Like, just because it's F Israel doesn't mean I have to trust you, you know what I mean? Like, ooh, I wasn't supposed to say that. I'm getting censored. But yeah, that's good, James, that oh, I do smile genuinely too. Oh my God, that's so nice. I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy for you. I hope it works out. And if it doesn't, there's always someone for somebody. You know what I mean? You'll find other people. But yeah, the conversations between gender have been very, very exhausting. And it's all pointing horizontally, and nobody wants to look up vertically to see what the real issue is. Because I'm pretty sure if people can live on like a decent wage, if people can you know, afford a home or an apartment or a starter home, if there was universal childcare, if there was more paternal leave for both the man and the woman, I'm pretty sure that, and social media, or like these social media dating apps didn't really like ruin the true raw connection of individuals with like interacting with each other, like men and women interacting with each other. I'm pretty sure we wouldn't have like this dumb gender war nonsense. Still don't forgive the culture where it's at right now for blaming feminism on all of this. That's like such a cheap cop out. There's so many other issues. Or just telling women to just like lie down and roll over and become a stay-at-home mom and barefoot and pregnant. I will never forgive any of y'all for doing that. No. I will always dunk on the people who encourage women to voluntarily sacrifice their autonomy because some conservative talking head told them to, because some trad wife told them to. Meanwhile, the trad wife is like not even a traditional, like she's making money online and has a storefront and stuff. I'll never forgive y'all for that. But I don't know. We'll look at this time and find it very interesting. There are a lot of conspiracy theorists out here, man. There are a lot of conspiracy theorists. There are a lot of people looking for answers to their questions. And we're seeing in real time that the American institutions put in place don't have the answers. And so people are trying to cope in many different ways, the best ways that they can. But it's just scary because so many folks just don't know what they're talking about. Myself included. I don't know what I'm talking about, but gosh darn it, at the very least, at minimum, I'm going to tell you to do your research, to clock me if I'm wrong. She is still here. I am still here. Hi, hello. To to clock me if I'm wrong, and to understand that I'm going to get it wrong. Like, I'm not coming to you as an expert. I'm coming to you with my opinions. Okay. These are my opinions and these are my thoughts. There are some people who genuinely think that their conspiracy theories, their whack ass conspiracy theories with no explanation are correct. And they're teaching people, like they're teachers, people, and they're giving information that is just not factually correct. That is terrifying. They're getting platformed. That is terrifying. That Professor Jiang person I was talking about, he's a teacher. Obviously, that's how we all came to know him. And now he was platformed by Sneako, and he was also platformed by Tucker Carlson. And honestly, that says all you need to know about like the type of people who watch a Sneako and a Tucker Carlson. They're probably not that smart to begin with. They're probably like grasping at straws. They're pissed off at the current administration not doing their job, not releasing the Epstein files. And so they're looking for something, anything to give them the answers. And they think that this professor out in China is doing that. And that's just not the case. He has no idea what he's talking about. And then what's sad is that when people clock him with like actual degrees, like the Tabernacle like made an expose video about how he doesn't know what he's talking about. I have a bachelor's in history. There'll be a bunch of his little minions under there like, well, maybe you're just jealous. Well, maybe he does know what he's talking about. Well, he's an actual professor, so I'm going to listen to that person over a person with a bachelor's degree or a master's degree. And I'm like, whoa. But he's not a professor though. Have you checked his LinkedIn? Have you done that research? Because like Tabernacle and like other, actual historians that went to school for this shit, they did the research. So you're just willing to believe this man because he has enough conviction? Because he speaks with like so much conviction in his heart, and he has a smart board in the background, and he's in a dimly lit classroom. So you're just going to be willing to believe him. And because he predicted things that we probably already knew was going to happen. You know what I mean? Like, yikes. I will say I'm a little bit of a conspiracy theory head, but it's like theories that aren't too much of a conspiracy theory, just like paying attention to trends. Like, I do think when this is all said and done, Section 230 is going to make it harder for us to speak our mind on the internet. I think that's a conspiracy theory, but I think that's like a true conspiracy theory. I also have like wackadoodle ones that I really don't want to talk about on here. Because I don't even know if they're true for real, but like all of my conspiracy theories that I have are like rooted in like, oh, well, that makes sense. For example, Epstein, I don't believe in that satanic cabal nonsense. No, I believe that there's a bunch of wealthy people who are bored, who want to get into very disgusting, disturbing shit because they're bored and they've been able to have their way and do whatever they want with all of their money and resources. So now they're on this island enacting whatever disgusting fantasies that they have. And then you also have to take into account the culture back then, where it was almost like fetishizing younger women, but also demonizing women for getting too older, for looking too grown or being too old. I remember that fondly existing in the 2000s. So when I see stuff like Epstein and Diddy happen, I'm not like, oh, this is a demonic Illuminati, this is a spiritual warfare, want. I'm like, no, there's just wealthy people who are just absolutely shitty, who want to take advantage of folks, who want to break you down, who want to bribe you, who want to do awful things to you. That's what it is. They're just evil. Like, why are you making up the evil when it's right in front of you? And I don't think that's a conspiracy theory. I think that's like a, you know what? Yeah, like, why are we making up the evil? It's right there. It's right in front of me. Like, There doesn't need to be a satanic cabal um just really disturbing people who do really disturbing shit. One conspiracy theory that about the Epstein files that what like I thought was like all the way outlandish, but is probably true based off of what we know in the files, is that they were eating kids. So yeah, but then you hear stuff like that and it gets debunked and you're over here just like, well, like what else is true? Like, is this whole reality that we're in like a lie? And then you start talking about the Matrix and then it's all downhill from there. It's just all downhill. Just hang it up flat screen. Oh God. And it's not the Matrix, guys. Okay, it's a bunch of institutions that were really shitty to begin with being exposed for how shitty they are. There's no Matrix. You're just looking and you're seeing things for what they actually are. Like, stop. Okay. Lotto's pregnant, guys. Lotto's pregnant and she looks like she's about to burst any day now. Okay, and look at this comment. Young ladies, this is not the way. We need to stop normalizing careless behavior and acting like it's something to celebrate. Hooking up, getting pregnant, and treating it like a flex is an empowerment. It's a lack of intention. We're too smart and capable to be moving like that. Do better, expect better. Okay, so a couple things of what I've noticed about like women who, you know, have babies out of wedlock. Because, okay, I'm noticing that women can't win for losing. Like, they can't win for losing. They can't win for winning. Like the goalpost always moves, right? So if women get married, that's the ideal scenario. So you get married and then you get pregnant and you have all these kids, but the marriage doesn't work out and you end up as a single mother, like you're still screwed, right? If women are in a loving relationship and they have a baby and the relationship fails, or maybe the father isn't really like all that great, or maybe it's just a co-parenting situation, you're demonized and you're still screwed. And if you decide not to have kids as a woman, well, you're not doing your wifely, your womanly duties of contributing to society, and therefore you're also screwed. Women can't win for losing. Black women cannot win for losing. I hate this. I do. I really do. Because at the end of the day, like, I know I don't want to have kids. I know for a fact I don't want children. Not in this economy. None of that. And I also know I have enough discretion to be like, these are celebrities and they live completely different lives than how I live mine as like a broke adult. All right. Like, they got money coming through. They got brand deals. They make money from their tours. Like, let's not like Lotto's a rapper. Okay. And she makes good money doing what she does. She's a good rapper. I know that if I were to have a kid tomorrow, my life would be significantly different in a different way. It seems like she has a support system. She has her sister. You know, she was shouting out all the people who were going to help her through the pregnancy. And like, that's good and great. But I am going to need us all to stop talking about these low hanging fruit conversations within Black spaces, because they're not conducive. They're not getting anything done. And we're not talking about the nuance of having kids and being in a partnership or a marriage and how difficult it can be. Some people are meant to just be co-parents. Some people are meant to be married. Some people are really just meant not to be parents at all. They're not meant to be parents at all. And that's okay. Okay? Like, we need to chill on this, young ladies. This isn't the way. We need to do better as Black women. Want. Like, of course we know this probably is not the way if you're not ready, right? And assuming that you're a young lady, you might not be ready if you're younger. But say if you're in your 30s or in your 40s and you've made good money and you have a support system and a community around you, maybe that is the way. Maybe that is something you want to do. Ebony K. Williams, Real Housewives of New York, the one where everyone got mad at her because she said, I'm a lawyer and I'm not going to date a bus driver. And Iyanla was like, how dare you not date a bus driver? Like, why would she want to date a bus driver as a lawyer? Why? Like, as if the other way around, a male lawyer would want to date a, I don't know, like a successful male lawyer would want to date, a service worker. Like, we just put so much stress on women and what they decide to do with their bodies. It's really weird. And while I say, please, if you are younger and if you are a woman, do not have an unplanned pregnancy where you don't have a support system and you don't have anybody helping you. Please do not do that. You will ruin your life. Absolutely. Please, yeetus that fetus. Yeetus that fetus. Yeetus that fetus. And see, like, people like this person here are probably the same type. How much you want to bet are the same type. As soon as a young woman does get pregnant and they say, I don't want the pregnancy, they're going to be like, well, you have to thug it out. Well, you have to have the kids. You have to learn the consequences of your actions because, that's a life inside of you. No, it's not. It's a zygote. Okay, it's a zygote. So if a woman does make a mistake and she puts things into her own hands, right? She takes measures into her own hands and she gets the procedure done. All right, she gets the procedure done. Yeah. Now she's like a wench and horrible and a slut and all this other like, we need to chill. We need to chill. I know there's a lot of like brutally honest discourse about actually having babies. I get it because I think we romanticize the idea of pregnancy and babies for women. We've romanticized that for years and it is terrifying. Another reason why I don't want to have kids is because medical studies haven't been researched well enough to where they completely understand what's going on with the woman's body or someone with a vagina. Like, you know what I mean? They only really started doing research and studies on women's bodies in like 1980 something. Please fact check that. I might not be right. When did medicine start doing research on women's bodies? Okay, so AI overview. I don't trust AI overview, but it says that systemic medical research on women's bodies gained momentum in the late 1980s. You know what I mean? Like, that should not, and this is what I'm talking about. Like, it should not have taken modern medicine that long to start looking in and probing and research on how women's bodies operate. It shouldn't have taken that long. That's why anybody who sits up and says, oh, we shouldn't be getting pregnant, or, oh, women need to be in the kitchen and they need to get married and they need to have kids and have more babies and that's your birthright. That's what you need to do as a woman. It's complete bullshit to me because like time and time again, I'm shown systemically that there has not been enough research done on women's bodies for them to actually give a shit about the babies that they produce. That's another reason why I don't want to have kids. There's not enough research. And so I hear comments like this, these low hanging fruit, nonsensical comments. And I'm just like, shut the fuck up. I'm just like, shut up, please. Just shut up. Okay. Hooking up, getting pregnant and treating it like a flex isn't empowerment. Like, who are you asking, right? Who are you asking? Personally, I think that casual sex can be helpful if you are trying to, explore yourself in your body. Though I do recommend, I'm more for the lesser risk option of figuring out your own body on your own, with your own toys and your own doohickeys. Whip out a bad dragon dildo and go to town. Like, that's what I recommend. Because at some point, depending on the type of person you are, it can get very like underwhelming, but I think what's really crazy about all of this is that everyone's so worried about Latto getting pregnant. No one's worried about the fact that 21 Savage is still married to his other wife. And that's the problem that I'm talking about. It's like, it's comments like these: we're hooking up, getting pregnant, and treating it like it's a flex, isn't empowerment, it's a lack of attention, we're too smart and capable of moving like that, blah, blah, blah. Okay, where have you said in any of this that like she is with 21 Savage and 21 Savage has a wife? You haven't said any of that. You just focus on the fact that she's pregnant. What are we doing? Like, I don't know the details about the marriage between 21 Savage and his wife. It's an arrangement, and like he's actually, hung up on Lotto. I don't know. I really don't know. But I know that the optics don't look good. All right. A lot of people I went to school with are having kids. Not me though. LOL. Also, James, you have to like figure out like how old are you, right? Like if you're like in your like early 20s, I would like honest to God, I would not have kids in my early 20s. I don't want to have kids at all, but like in early 20s in 2020, absolutely not. Like, what do you know respectfully? I'm not trying to be ageist, but it's like there's so much you don't know. You know what I mean? You're 26. Okay, that's a fair age. That's a fair age for people to be having kids. Like if you're like in your late teens, early 20s, it's like, oh, that's kind of young, girl. Like it was normalized back then because, women didn't have a lot of opportunities back then, but like now that's fine. One of my friends, like my friends are like in their 30s. So they have kids and they've gotten married and all that. And, that's their choice. And I'm like, yeah, go have those babies. Yes. Just because I don't want babies, I'm not going to like shit on my friends for having babies. That's what they want to do. That's what they want to do. I just know how incredibly difficult it is. And I also know the resources that they have, like I know if I were pregnant, I'd be doing it all on my own. I know that. So I'm not gonna I don't want kids. Ugh. I don't want to talk about babies too much because I feel like the pregnant bug will get on me. Knock on wood. But yeah, so bringing in a new life, congratulations to Lotto for that. And I gotta say, this picture is really beautiful. Like, this is really beautiful. Lotto naturally just looks like a really pretty lady. Like, she's a really pretty woman, It's just unfortunate that 21 Savage was the father, though I get it. Like, 21 Savage and her have been intertwined. And that like it makes sense, but I also just feel like, I don't know, we gotta pick, if you're gonna go like the co-parenting route, we gotta pick a decent BD, you know what I mean? Like an NFL player or a basketball player or a CEO of a company, you know what I mean? Like if we're gonna go the BD route, I may end up abandoning my kid. That's why I don't want one. Yeah, I don't want kids because we live in a society that doesn't help community and doesn't help raise kids as a community. So that's one reason, coupled with their modern medicine isn't up to date with the research on women's bodies, coupled with the horror stories I hear about women who've actually had kids, couple that with the societal expectations that women have when they do get pregnant. Like they are like the core caregivers. It's a new phenomenon for some reason, despite like both parties working and making money. It's a brand spanking new phenomenon that men like also help their wives take care of the kids. So socially, I don't think a lot of men are there with that mindset, right? And I don't think they really understand how difficult it is to have a kid, So yeah, that's why I don't want kids. And there's just so many things I haven't done. Like go to Brazil. I haven't gone to Brazil. I haven't traveled out of the country. I think about my own mom, and she really hasn't like traveled like that for real. Maybe she like traveled in the military briefly. I don't know if she really traveled, but there's just like so much stuff that she hasn't done, and like that was her choice. That's what she wanted to do. Or even when I was a kid, I was like, I want us to go to India, and my parents be like, we're not going to go to India. That's not going to happen. Like there's just so many things that they haven't done, and there's so many things I want to do, so many things I haven't accomplished. I'm trying to be rich auntie, okay? I'm not trying to have kids. All right? And I'm glad that more and more people are waking up and realizing like, yeah, I don't know if I want to have kids. Mom talk, like real mom talk, not the romanticized, pretty ass filter, millennial beige, sad millennial beige mom talk. But no, the mom talk where those women are crashing out has woken me up a ton. Also, here's a more serious issue as to why I don't want kids. Because I live in a state where abortion like ends, like you can't get a safe abortion after 9 weeks. Say I do want to have the baby, and, we're close to the pregnancy date, and, or, I start contracting prematurely and there's like issues going on, and it's a matter of, okay, so do we like, do we save her, or do we not save her and the baby, right? Like, so there's a pregnancy complication is what I'm trying to say. Say there's a pregnancy complication and it gets to the point where the best option to save the mom is to abort the baby. And that's 9 times out of 10 what late term abortions are for. Which is horrifying that another side is trying to preach to people that, no, people just get late-term abortions because they change their mind at 9 months. That's not what's happening. What's happening is that there's pregnancy complications. And if they have the baby, they might die and the baby might die. And so if you terminate the pregnancy, at the very least, the mom might not die. The one hosting the baby might not die, or will probably not die. That's the scary part. Is if say I wanted a baby and I wanted to bring it to term and there's a pregnancy complication and now I can't get the proper care I need, so I'm at risk of losing my life, which is unfortunately what is going to be happening now. And then what's like, to bring it full circle back to the gender conversations, and then you have people like Jordan Peterson and like these manosphere losers sit up here and tell you that women are the reason why men are so lonely and they need to lower their standards and stop working and be girl bosses all day. And it's like, dude, do you not like and you just need to couple up and breed anyway. It's our birthright in the name of humanity. Like, no, dude, no, I'm not going to do that. Not with you. Absolutely not. Not with these risks. Like, if you actually cared about people hooking up and having genuine relationships, then you would have thoughtful conversations about manhood. You'd have thoughtful conversations about relationships. You would try to attempt to make changes in Congress to make it so that women can have children safely. You would make resources a lot more accessible to parents, but you don't care about any of that shit. You just care that a bunch of 12 and 14-year-old boys are over here popping their pussy in your stream and in your chat while you say anti-Semitic nonsense to your audience. Okay? Like, what the, like, huh? Oh my God, like, geez, like, it just disgusts me, honestly. It's like, and it's just it's so blatantly ass backwards the way this world works that nobody is willing to just open their eyes and look. Everyone's willing to believe conspiracy theorist bullshit. Everyone's willing to believe a cabal or aliens or a demonic satanic orgy. No one's willing to believe that, like, everything's just corrupt now. Everything's been corrupt and it's always been that way. Like, anyway, Latto looks very pretty. 21 Savage being the dad is just like, I don't agree with that. And I'm surprised not a lot of people are focusing on that. Why are we promoting baby mama culture like it's a badge of honor? It's sick. Full stop, BG lover. Why are we promoting side chick culture? Because that's something I don't stand by. I don't respect. It's a little complicated. I'm not going to sit up here and say I don't respect side chicks. It's just I can't see myself being a friend with someone who is knowingly a side chick. Like, I can respect you, I'll be nice to you, but if you're my friend and you're telling me, yeah, I'm sleeping around with this married man and, you know, he loves me and I care about him and it turns me on, I like, stay away. That tells me all I need to know about your character as a person. That tells me all I need to know about your character. Okay? See, at least Billy Ray 562 got pregnant by a married man. Ladies think it's a flex. SMH, this generation is cooked. And this is another thing, okay? How much you want to bet that he was born in 2001? And he's talking about some of this generation. No, love, this is your generation, okay? Hold some accountability. Like, you want to complain online, but you don't want to contribute. Hold some accountability. Bro, this is your generation. It's probably my generation too, okay? Like, we gotta, you know, be a better example, I guess. Her village included everyone but the baby daddy. Yeah. 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 Rumor has it the BD is married with 3 kids. What a flex. Yeah, it's not really a flex, and that's why I was kind of disappointed, because I'm like, Lotto, this is obviously going to slow you down. Once again, these pregnancy pictures are very, very beautiful. Honestly, I would have pulled a Flo Millie, and I would have just waited for the baby to come into this planet. I wouldn't even talk about the baby. I would just be like, I'm a mommy now, you know what I mean? But you know what? Like, if she has a community, at the very least, good for her. Where I'm not happy is, this is side chick culture, and I'm not really for side chick culture. And then also, okay, I have the book here. This book, The Secret Lives of Church Ladies. All right, it's short, like a few short stories about Black women and their relationship with the church, their sexuality, their queerness, and all of that. There is a story in here that I always like. This is my favorite story. I always go back to reading it, and I just read it a couple of weeks ago, but it's called Peach Cobbler. All right, and basically, like, you should still read the story, but it's basically about how being a side chick can cause generational trauma and pain to your own child and their own, successes in life and the things that they want to do in their life. Because her mother, and in the short story Peach Cobbler, the mom is sleeping with the pastor of the church that her and her daughter go to. And he has a wife, a first lady. The first lady's the wife, and he has a son and all of that. And it's like a story about, the impacts of side chick culture and how it trickles down into generations. It's such a sad story. Like, even in the story, you can, because it's told in the first person by the viewpoint of the daughter who knows that her mom is creeping with the pastor. Like, there are several excerpts in the story where she's like yearning for her mom to treat her in the same way that she treats the man that she's creeping around with. There's a scene where she wants to go to a birthday party by a student who has a very affluent family, and the mom's like, no, I don't want you going to this birthday party, more or less because I don't want people finding out that I'm creeping around with the pastor. And she's doing it because, it pays her bills and all of that. And it's just so sad. And she gets older. And I don't know. I recommend that you read it because I don't think I've spoiled too much of the story. It's a long story. It's like 39 to 74 pages. But it's like an easy read. Like the font is like big and the indentations and margins are really closed in. But I recommend you read that, at least that story. It's really, really good. But it like woke me up to the idea of, side chick culture and how toxic it can be, especially if you have kids. Because you are so male-centered. You're so centered around having a piece of a person. I'm not even going to put men into it. You're so centered around having a piece of a person that you are willing to sacrifice the own joy and happiness of your own child just to keep having that piece of the person so that your bills are paid. You know what I mean? And that's just so sad. So that you can enjoy them, so that you can, have a slice of them, while he has like most of him is probably going to his wife and other women that he's around or they're around. Like, I just don't agree with that. At that point, girl, just be polyamorous. Like, and don't be creeping around with married men unless like it's an open marriage, you know what I mean? And who knows, maybe it is an open marriage and, the wife doesn't care. We don't know the details. What I will say is I'm disappointed that, she got pregnant by a married man and we don't know the details. That's what I'm like a little disappointed in. Not too disappointed that she's having kids because, people be having kids for real. Like, it's fine. Like, she has money. It's fine. She's gonna be ashamed in about 5 years, probably by 21 Savage, probably. But this picture is beautiful. The stunning picture, very stunning. And she looks really good. And I don't know, I just wish it was under different pretenses. Like at the very least, like a single NFL player, that would have made more sense than 21 Savage. But it is what it is, and life goes on, and it's fine. We're gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay. All right. Like I'm sick and tired of the way y'all will move the goalposts to dunk on Black women, because anytime a Black woman makes this mistake of having an unplanned pregnancy, y'all have so much to say. But then as soon as she turns around and says, I don't want to get married, I don't want to have kids, y'all still have something to say. Y'all saying that her body's broken, her body don't work, blah, blah, blah. Say she does get married and the marriage doesn't work out, y'all still have something to say. Like, just shut up. Shut up, bro. Just shut up. Like, just let her live her life. She doesn't have the same life as you do. And if your child feels influenced to get pregnant because Lotto got pregnant, you failed as a parent. Congratulations, you're a part of the problem. You should sit down your kid and be like, listen, you're not Lotto. It's going to be 10 times harder. Don't have any fucking kids. Okay? Like, hello? I don't know. Anyway, I'm not done with this. All right. So let's talk about Cardi B's new hair care line, okay? Because there's been a lot of discourse about her hair care line. She has very beautiful hair now. Like, let's not sit up here and act like that silk press isn't silk pressing, like her hair isn't beautiful, you know? And she has been talking about some of the things that she's been doing with her hair for years. She makes her own hair masks, honey, eggs, avocado, coconut, whatever else, and she mixes that all up. She mixes that all up, and she puts it on her hair. And there was even, let me find it, because I think, and this is why people like Cardi B so much, because she really knows how to market herself. Because take a look at this. See that trash bag on her head? If you know, you know. Okay. Like I washed my hair this past week on Wednesday, and I was doing the same thing, you know. And I think that's why people really like her, is because she knows how to market relatability. Is she relatable? No, not really. Like, she's rich. A lot of us aren't rich, you know, but she knows how to market relatability in a likable way. I've talked about this before, but I've decided I'm not really a fan of Cardi B for real. Like, I'm just not really a fan of her, and I don't think it's so much like her per se, just like what she represents in the cultural zeitgeist of how many excuses someone like a Cardi B gets. So a woman who is an unambiguous, like, Latina woman, right? She's Dominican, she's light skinned. Both of her parents are leaning more towards Dominican than Black Dominican. Like, they're definitely like on that mestizo. You know what I mean? I hope I'm using that right. Like, they're not like, oh no, my dad is like Black Dominican and then my mom is like Latina Dominican. No. Like, definitely both her parents are, you know, not Black. You know, they might be people of color, but they're not Black. Okay. And the amount of grace Cardi B gets for doing the same antics that someone like Miss Mams over here does, right? Lotto does, who, like, I mean, she's half Black, half white, so she's still an unambiguous Black woman. But like, even like a Sexyy Red has done, and I've said this before, when Sexyy Red came out into the scene and the way y'all received Sexyy Red was so negative in comparison to how Cardi B is treated. And the only difference, I've said this, between Cardi B and Sexyy Red is that Cardi B gets to be invited to the Met Gala and wear all these high fashion costumes and model for Vogue and, you know, get all these crazy ass brand deals. And Sexyy Red gets to be the butt of the joke and the turn up girl. And I guess like Lil Jon too, right? Here for a good time, not a long time. You're willing to give longevity to an unambiguous Latina woman of color, then you are willing to give longevity to someone like a Sexy Red or a Sukihana or the newer rap girls coming out like Pluto and Burna B, right? Like you're not willing to give them that longevity in the same way that you'll be willing to give Cardi B the same longevity. And you know, I'll clock Black women, okay, and I love Black women down, but usually I see a lot of unambiguous Black women, yes. So monoracial Black women, not biracial Black women, sitting up here making excuses for Cardi B, and in the same breath will hate on a Sexy Red for doing the same damn thing, right? And then also try to twist things in their mind or words around in their mind as to why someone like a Doechii is a demonic industry plant. You know what I mean? And like that's what bothers me. And like I'm gonna give grace because it's not always like Black women, right? It's also Black men too, like Black people in general. It's like, you know, and I'm not gonna say that Cardi B isn't like hood or whatever or ratchet or doesn't have like the same qualities as a Sexy Red or hasn't grown up in that space. I definitely believe that she's about that life. I also believe that there are ratchet POCs that don't necessarily have to be Black, right? That carry a lot of similarities that overlap, but it's just like the amount of grace that Cardi B gets that the other girls don't get that really irritates me a little bit, because you got to think about it in the same way. If Nicki Minaj had other like this new wave of female rappers coming in to compete for the throne of Queen of Rap, I don't think Onika would have made it. I just don't think Nicki would have made it if other girls came in to compete. I also think that if Nicki Minaj didn't exist and Cardi B had dropped her mixtape and her debut album and all of that, there wouldn't be that many excuses made for her. You know, like it took her 7 years to come out with her debut album. Anytime we hear from her, it's always her hopping onto another artist's song. And like, that's good, like put them on, you know, but some people would also argue, well, no, she has to do that to stay relevant. But, you know, it's like a give and take symbiotic relationship. So that's fine. But it also just feels like we hyped up Cardi B because we were tired of Nicki Minaj, you know, and who isn't tired of Onika, you know? But like stand alone amongst the other rappers that are out there, amongst the Lattos, the Meg Thee Stallions, the Flo Millis, the Doechies, the JTs, the Tia Corinnes, Pluto, Burna B, all of that. Like it's just like, okay, but Glorilla is another one too. Like, girl, like I don't know if you can go like toe to toe with them like that. Even like I like Bia. I think she got caught up in some drama with, like, she should have never started fucking with Nicki. I think Nicki ruined her for real. Like she never like took care of Bia, because Bia took Nicki's side and then started beefing with Cardi B when she was on Nicki's side. Nicki's just awful. Yeah, I don't like either of those women. I don't like Nicki Minaj. I don't really like Cardi B. But a lot of people are saying that they're going to buy this hair care line, which I don't even know if they're people for real or if they're bots. It's like dead internet theory. That's another thing. If I can do another tangent, I also feel like Cardi B's success was low-key manufactured a little bit. And it was a lot of payola and a lot of like, we got to get Nicki out of here. She can't be the queen anymore. We got to make someone else. Like, that's just an unpopular opinion. And I was listening to a clip where she said that the reason why like dark-skinned women can't get on in the way that she did is because she works very hard and she's a really good marketer. And like, sure, but also no. It's also because you look unambiguous and you are a Latina woman in Black spaces that is more desirable. That's why you kind of got on. Like, yeah, sure, you worked hard, right? But like, and you have a nice personality, but like, also you are like a more desirable, more preferred woman in Black culture. Like that, like, come on, like I'm gonna need people to get it together with the colorism nonsense. Like, let's lock in. Like, okay, like, let's be real. There's a reason why everyone called Doechii an industry plant when she first came on. They didn't know how to receive her, because 9 times out of 10, a lot of people, unfortunately, a lot of men in the hip hop demographic probably weren't attracted to Doechii initially to begin with, because they're so used to seeing, you know, women look a certain type of way. Like, I don't mean to sound negative, but it's the truth. I don't mean to be like a bitter Betty over here, but it's the truth. I'm not trying to be bitter. I'm just calling this stuff out. And what's sad is when a brown skin or a dark skinned woman does call out colorism for what it is, we're seen as negative and not working hard enough. And a part of me is glad that some of the gender war conversations we have are doing that tie in to the beauty standard. Is it weird I have a crush on Doechii? No, it's not weird. I'm glad you have a crush on Doechii. I like that. Like, she's okay. So one thing I will say about Doechii, it's not like she's ugly. Like, we're not gonna do that. Like, Doechii and Olandria, it's not that they're ugly. It's just they don't fit like the traditional standard of beauty in Western America. And in the hip hop space, especially when you think of the new hot rap vixen, like, I'm just gonna call a thing. Usually you don't pass that mantle on to a Doechii. You pass that mantle on to an Ice Spice, because that's just the preferred look. That's why Ice Spice was able to get away with slapping an orange afro on her head and throwing it in a circle, and y'all calling her the new princess of rap, and have the gall to have her beef with Latto like she was gonna win that shit, and then gas it up like she actually did win. She did not win. Latto won. And I'm glad they ended their beef and they did what they had to do, but it was just like, what are we, like, come on. Like, it's not weird to have a crush on Doechii. I'm pretty sure a lot of people have a crush on Doechii and a lot of other women who don't fit the traditional beauty standard, especially in the hip hop space. I'm just critiquing, like, when you have certain privileges, you should probably acknowledge them, right? Like, for example, I have type 4A, 4B hair, and in the natural hair care space, that's the more coveted hair texture over 4C. That's the hair texture that tends to perform a lot better than 4C hair. And there's a lot of issues about 4C hair and learning to love and accept 4C hair texture. I'm not going to get into that, but you're not going to see me sit up here and take up space on a conversation about texturism amongst like a bunch of 4C folks about like why it's so hard for me to be 4A, 4B. Like, no. Like, I understand my privilege in the texturism space. I understand that I have a looser curl pattern. I understand that when my hair gets wet, it's going to get like curly and loose. I will say I don't have the privilege of having thick natural hair. I really do wish I had like medium high density hair, but I have medium low and fine natural hair. But like, I also understand that it would not be fair of me to overspeak people who suffer the most, which are 4C women, because they're not celebrated in the natural hair care community. In the same way with colorism. And I really wish there were more people who are, you know, more racially ambiguous or of lighter skin tone that understood this phenomenon a little bit more. Shout out to the few of you that do, but the ones that don't, I just can't have a conversation with you sometimes, because like, I just can't do it. I can't do it. And then also factor in, yeah, Cardi B like broke down a lot of doors. I did not know the way hip hop works is that a man has to prop up the new hip hop leading lady. And that's just how it's always been done back in like the 90s and the 80s when hip hop first got started. Like, there had to be a guy to help like platform the woman. And Cardi B was the first artist where she didn't need to be platformed with the power of social media. And she just has an infectious personality. But I don't really identify Cardi B as a rapper to begin with. I identify her as an entertainer that just so happens to make music. And like, she's a good influencer. You know, she's a more grittier Saweetie, I guess. Okay, so yeah, a lot of people over here are talking about Grow Good, and they're talking about how, you know, I trust Cardi B. You know, if anybody's going to be able to grow my hair, it's going to be Cardi B. I'm going to support this hair care line. She knows what she's doing. She knows her shit. All this nonsense, right? And that's cool. That's great. That's awesome. But there have also been some discourse around like celebrity hair care brands and celebrity natural hair care brands, and if you can truly see yourself in the hair care brand that they are sponsoring, that they are selling you, if they have a significantly different hair texture than you do. Okay. And so a good example is Miss Giselle, Beyonce, when she dropped Sacred. I hear Sacred's really good. The products are really good. That's great. That's awesome. And to prove that she had length on her hair, she went on camera and had folks do a silk press for her, like silk press her hair down to show everyone that she got length or whatever. And that's cool, I guess. That's awesome. But the thing is that Beyonce probably has like type 3 hair. Let me pull up Beyonce's hair real quick. Like, she has a loose curl pattern, y'all. Like here we go. Open image. And you tap. I didn't know she bleached her eyebrows. Okay, Miss Giselle has a type 3 hair texture. Okay, like that's a very loose curl pattern at the very least type 4A. Okay, a lot of us don't have that hair texture, and then she's over here selling us a hair care product, and we're over here thinking, oh yeah, we can, like, we buy this product, we'll have long, luscious, flowing locks like Miss Giselle herself. And it's like, girl, no, you're not going to have that, because Miss Giselle got a whole team behind her, helping her with her natural hair care routine, helping her with her wigs, taking care of her wigs. Mama Tina was a hairstylist. So no, ma'am. You're not going to have the same. Maybe if you are a type 3 hair girly, you could have the same hair as Beyonce. But if you're a type 4 girly, no, you're not going to have Beyonce's hair. Your hair will be healthy, but it won't look like Beyonce's hair. Because I hear Sacred has really good ingredients and it's a really good product. Same thing goes for Cardi, okay? It's like, I know Cardi B, gets online and shows us the little hair mask that she does in her hair, and shows us, like, her getting her hair straightened, her dyeing her hair, and she's still being able to retain length and all of that. I understand. And that's very awesome. I love that, because you can tell that she has a very, like, at the very least, like a type 3 thick curl pattern, a very frizzy curl pattern that probably isn't celebrated in her space, right? So I'm glad she's able to grow her hair, but I need us all to remember that she has a team behind her. She has a team behind her that's helping her grow her hair to that length. She has a glam squad, and the same way Beyonce has a glam squad. Tracee Ellis Ross also dropped Pattern. First of all, that's another biracial woman. Let's call a thing. That's another biracial woman. She has a very loose type 3 curl pattern, probably, or like a loose type 4 curl pattern. Like, if you're a 4B to C, 4C girly, and you think that you're gonna get the same hair like Beyonce, like Tracee Ellis Ross, like Cardi B, it's like, no, because they have a glam squad and a very probably expensive, luxurious beauty care routine that they follow to a T in order to have their hair at that certain length, in order for their hair to maintain a certain length. And so they're cashing in, like, I hate to say it like this, but a lot of them are cashing in on your insecurity of you wanting hair to be a certain length. And so they'll sell you products and you'll buy them thinking that those products will grow your hair in the same way their hair has been able to grow themselves. And sometimes that's just not true. Sometimes that's just, like, that won't happen, honestly. And I'm making a video of this, so expect a video next week on my other channel, because I'm getting back into posting videos, girl. I'm getting back into posting videos. Okay. Honestly. Okay. If you want your hair to grow healthy, you start with your diet first. Get a really good hair care routine. And start doing low manipulation hairstyles. Okay, that's all you need to do. Protect your ends in those low manipulation hairstyles. That's all you need to do. I've learned so much about, like, my hair growth journey and my hair care journey, and I realized the reason why my hair looks a certain way, or it didn't look the way I wanted it to, the reason why that happened is because I wasn't eating enough protein. I wasn't eating enough fruits. I wasn't eating enough vegetables. A lot of our issues that we have is diet. And it's like, you're going to spend all this money on Grow Good and Sacred and Pattern, and you spend all this money on these different hair care products and use like 5, 10, 20 products at a time. And it's just like, let's shirk back on the amount of products we use, and let's focus on what we're putting inside of our bodies first before we even figure out what type of products we want. A hair care brand I really rock with, I really want to try, because it has a lot of it has like a lot of like it fits within my natural hair care routine, is what I'm trying to say. Melanin hair care by Whitney, Natural 85. Shout out the OG natural hair care influencer. I call her a genuine influencer, because it never feels like, whenever she makes a video, that she's trying to scam people. It always feels like she's, coming to her audience with integrity. Sometimes I notice that when content creators reach a certain, or influencers reach a certain level of fame and a certain level of influence, they start to get disconnected to their audience a little bit. And then you get like the Michaela, Italian last name, unboxing $250,000 worth of Louis Vuitton handbags while everyone's going broke and losing their jobs in like 2025. Like, you know what I mean? The Boston accent, Kim Kardashian, that lady. Yeah. Nobody wants to see you unbox $250,000 worth of Louis Vuitton products while everybody's going broke. Groceries are at an all-time high. Nobody can afford to live anymore. Nobody wants to see that shit. And Whitney has always been on the exact opposite of that, like, social media influencer pipeline. Just very, very honest, very genuine. But I would shop from here. Multi-use softening leave-in conditioner. No, I would shop here. Melanin hair care, excuse me. And I would buy this product because I am really into using as little products as possible to help keep my hair healthy. And apparently this leave-in conditioner could be used as a detangler. It could be used as a deep conditioner. It could be used as a regular conditioner. And it can also be used as a leave-in when you want to style your hair. And those are all things I need. I really want to do a natural hair declutter one of these days, because I'm realizing I don't need a lot of products to do what I gotta do. I just need a solid routine that works. And also the ingredients are really good. It looks like it's very well researched. It's expensive, but I'm gonna be real with you. I would trust Natural 85 selling me something than Cardi, Beyonce, or Tracee Ellis Ross selling me something. Because at the very least, even though she was successful and she is making a decent amount of money as an influencer, at the very least, I can trust her in, her opinions on natural hair and how to take care of natural hair, because she's been doing it so long herself. She's been doing it herself for so long. You know what I mean? So I think it's cool that Cardi B is getting into entrepreneurship and she's starting her hair care line. I also like that it's a little bit more affordable for the girls who, can't really afford, like, Sacred. Where's Beyonce? There. Sacred. We can't afford that. We can't afford, I go to the website. Let me click on that product. Like, we can't afford, how much even is this? Where's the price? We can't even see the price. Okay, yeah, we can't afford $40 clarifying shampoo and scalp scrub. I might get this though, because I hear exfoliating your scalp is really important. So I might get this, but a lot of us can't really afford this, right? But people can't afford like $14.99 hair growth serum, And so Cardi B knows her audience. She knows how to market herself. She knows how to be accessible way more than Nicki ever really did, honestly. And so that's good. But honestly, I wouldn't. I wouldn't trust these celebrity hair care brands too much, because a lot of them are just trying to sell you. They're trying to make money first. You know what I mean? Okay, so I'll read a couple of Reddit stories, and then I am going to move, or I'm going to end things here. Movie followed the wrong character and threw the real protagonist under the bus. I don't know what these movies are. I'm in this top character tropes. Like, I see this top character tropes subreddit. Some of them are really good, and some of them are like not. All right, roommate not buying her share of supplies, so I won't either. Got a new roommate for the spring semester as old one moved out. Okay. Have a lot of other problems, but one was she won't buy her portions of house supplies. Hers, RM1, is cleaning spray and paper towels. Mine is toilet paper and trash bags. And the other roommate 2 is dish soap and sponges. On February 6th-ish, we ran out. Roommate 2 and I were having Galentine, so we bought some. Since we used it, and roommate 1 did buy. Okay. Typos. I asked her 3 times over the span of a month. She would reply saying yes and not getting them. She never got the spray either, but I gave up on that. This is a 3-bed, 2.5 bath apartment. Roommate 1 and I share one, and roommate 2 has the master bed, so she gets her own. I told roommate 2 that since she isn't buying paper towels, I won't buy toilet paper. I had like 20 rolls so we wouldn't run out, but put them all in my room. Now I just bring the toilet paper to the bathroom when I need to go. It took her a week to buy her own. Then she bought toilet paper, and it took her another week to put it downstairs. So now if I see paper towels, toilet paper will be supplied. If I don't, then I take it back to my room and she can use her own. Roommate 2 buys her own toilet paper for her bath, and I give her some when she needs it. She also knows not to use the guest bath because I will most likely not supply it. There is a lot of other problems with roommate 1, like forgetting to lock the door and leaving the key in the door. We live in a not so great town. I put a sign up so she won't forget to lock, but she just tears it down. So talk to her, right? Ask her 3 times. You're too nice already. Yeah, like, have a roommate meeting. Be like, hey, you need to buy some toilet paper. Like, please. But that sucks. I hope she's buying toilet paper now. Confiscate her key when she leaves it in the door. LOL, yeah. Okay, don't do that. Don't do that. Like, this just seems like tit for tat. Let's be petty. So be petty. You know, and until she realizes that she gotta get toilet paper. All right. Let's see here. Denise Richards, plastic surgeon Dr. Ben Tilley, posts before and after pictures of her facial surgeries. Denise Richards was very pretty back in the day. Let me show you a picture of Denise Richards. I mean, she's pretty now. She's just older, right? But let me show you a picture of Denise Richards. She was very pretty. She was in that 3-Way movie. And now she's on Real Housewives of Hollywood. But she was a looker. Yeah, she was really stunning. And she still is. She's just like older now. You know what I mean? Yeah, she was very pretty. Very, very pretty. Anyway, sorry. I think she kind of overdid it with the Botox and the filler. But I'm not going to lie to you. I think I probably will get some work done like that. Like Botox and filler and stuff. I'm being so transparent. Like, I used to be the girl who was like, I'm never going to get Botox and filler. I want to be in my natural. Now I just don't give a shit. I do not care. When I realized that a lot of the things women do is to like appease the gaze of other people, particularly men, I just stopped caring so much. And so me wanting to get like Botox and filler and all that is really just for myself, like really. And I don't want too much. And it's still like up in the air, you know. It's still up in the air. Like probably like I want to start with like micro needling first, and then we'll move into the other stuff, right? But I don't want to do anything too crazy. I want to look like a vampire, but I don't want to look like too much was done. I mean, okay, now I'm all over the place, but like her facelift looks good. She has a really good looking facelift. And then also like let's just let women age the way they want to age. Like, please. Oh, okay, she looks good with makeup. That's another thing. Like, makeup does a lot. It does a lot. Yeah. Yeah, just let women age the way they want to age. If they want to put in Botox and filler, let them put in Botox and filler. If they don't, then don't let them put it in. Like, whoa, 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 whoa. Am I the asshole for having sex with a biter? Yeah? Why are we here? Am I the asshole for not wanting to spend Easter with my partner's family because they make us sleep on the couch? Am I the asshole peed standing up in traffic jam? Am I the asshole for correcting my roomie about her meals when eating out? I love my roomie very much. She's a wonderful person and I consider her family. We've lived together a few years now and we're both pushing 30. My roommate has a digestive condition that will cripple her stomach cramps if she eats even a little bit of dairy. She also doesn't eat meat, but she can do eggs and some fish. So as someone who loves food and cooking, I found it very easy to cook for both of us. And she's always so grateful about it. We go on a lot of camping trips together. We really love it. Oh, that's cute. I love happy roommate story times. Several times now on our way to camping trip, we'd stop somewhere to get something to eat, and she'd end up doubled over with horrible cramps by the time we got to the campsite, and we'd have to pack and turn around. Because I cook a lot, I have a better idea of what's in most food than she does. But when we ate out together years ago, I pointed out something had dairy in it, and the waiter had mentioned she couldn't have dairy, and she asked me politely, "Do not do that again." So I didn't. Okay. Well, last weekend we went on a big kayak camping trip. We had just gotten off a ferry and we're having a last hot meal at a little restaurant when she ordered something with brioche bread, which unlike most breads has a lot of butter in it. So I said, "Don't get brioche. It has a ton of butter." She shot me a dirty look and asked the waiter, had to ask the chef who confirmed it, and she got a substitution. She was pretty peeved at me for correcting her about her meal in front of the waiter, something she asked me not to do before. Here's the thing about the trip though. We were going to camp overnight at Posey Island, a tiny island marine park off the coast of Friday Harbor, one of the San Juan Islands and the Puget Sound. The Puget Sound? Okay. I don't know any of this stuff. The island was on only 2 campsites and we rented both for 2 nights. So we were going to be getting the whole island to ourselves. Okay. And one day was the lowest tide of the month as well. So we'd be getting some excellent tide pooling in. There were 4 of us on the trip, her, me, another friend, and my girlfriend. Okay. I'm not an outdoorsy girl. I am not. I am such a city girl through and through. I don't even know what any of this shit means. I'm like, all right, girl, Puget Sound, Friday Harbor, the tide, yes. At this point, we'd woken up at 2 a.m., driven 5 hours, taken a 2-hour ferry that cost us $70, and we're gearing up to paddle a few miles over the harbor in an early morning cold. We'd all taken time off work, which was hard for us, and the only reason we'd taken such an early ferry was so that we could paddle over early in the morning when there were less boats in the harbor, because Rumi is afraid of kayaking near large boats, and honestly, none of us love it. So after we did all that, I wasn't willing to turn around because she didn't want to be told she'd ordered something with dairy in it. And the way the ferries work to the San Juans, we'd be waiting maybe days to get on without a reservation, which was set for the day we were leaving. So am I the asshole for correcting her about her own dietary restrictions? Edit. I feel the need to point out that while the trips have been ended before due to dairy slips, of the 5 or so times it's happened, 2 out of the 3 were not her fault because she ordered vegan food, and we camp a lot. Basically every weekend of the summer and many weekends in the spring and fall. This has happened fewer than 1 out of the 10 trips. I don't think you're an asshole for looking out for your friend, but if she's very insecure about you calling her out on like what foods have what ingredients in them at the restaurant, then maybe you, like, before you guys walk into the restaurant, you just sit her down like in the car and be like, okay, so make sure you don't order any dairy, make sure you don't order this, make sure you don't order that. I don't know, just have that conversation with her, or like let her order the food, and then I mean, this is wasting food. Let her order the food, and then be like, that has butter on it, don't eat it, if she doesn't want you correcting her in front of people. Or just send her a text message and be like, don't eat that, you know? I don't think you're an asshole. So not the asshole. Roommate doesn't get to not advocate for her own health by not being vigilant about something she eats and ruins everyone else's plans as a result. That is true. Because then you could be even more savage. And I know this is her friend. The roommate is like really close to her and their friends and everything. You can be like, okay, so you ate this dairy, but we made all these reservations for this camping trip. So we're going to go camping, but you got to go home. And that's a little bit more savage, but maybe she'll learn from that, you know? Because it's not fair to anybody else. Other people knowing this need to make their plans accordingly. Unfortunately, in this case, this would mean not inviting her. Would I be the asshole if I explained why? Explain the cause and consequences of her actions and what you will be doing to limit the impact on your life. My daughter with type 1 diabetes went through a time where she was not making good choices, and it caused a lot of issues for the family. We sat her down and explained that her bad decisions were not going to derail our plans any longer. I took a couple times when she was left home, or I brought her home and went back to the activities, but she got the message pretty quickly. She tested it a few times, but the results were always the same. Okay, cool. Yeah, I would just like remind her, like, you know, try to like sit her down in the car and be like, listen, do you want me to tell? I know you've mentioned this before in the restaurant, but every time we order something out to eat and it has like a food that you're not supposed to eat, you know, things get canceled. So can I remind you? Do you not want me to remind you? Do you want me to remind you when the food comes out? And if you get sick, what are the repercussions for like you taking care of yourself? Because we made plans for this camping trip and now they're ruined because you made a bad decision with your health. So I don't know. Am I the asshole because I didn't say I wanted to talk? Okay. Am I the asshole for buzzing the hair I grew out to be my friend's maid of honor while she was on our honeymoon? I 24 female have having short hair. I always have short hair. Anyways, my friend 23 female got engaged and we were looking at hairstyles for her wedding. She had a vision board, not that she called it that, full, that she had clearly already spent months in, if not years, knowing her curating. All the hairstyles were long and similar with a few short ones like mine, which she had clearly added last minute. I could tell by the way she talked she was less than enthusiastic about the short hairstyles despite trying to be. Even her husband's hair is past his shoulders, so I told her I'd grow it out and get extensions. I was curious how it looked long anyway. I first cut it when I was 9. For me, it was always temporary, but as the wedding got pushed back 2 years, it got longer, down to about my armpit. While it was long, I had fun with it. I learned braids and intricate styles. Anyway, the wedding happened at the end of February. I had the same beautiful updo as the other bridesmaids, and I decided to experiment was great, but I was going back into my comfort zone and buzzed it all off. I would have no regrets if that was the end. I posted on Instagram a picture of my new hair captioned it, "Wedding Hover, Hedgehog's Back." I got a DM from a few people asking if my long hair was for the wedding. I mistook their concern for curiosity and told them, yeah, my friends like long hair. I saw her next week and she was furious at me for telling people that she was controlling Bridezilla over something that was my idea. She was unaware that I was keeping my hair long for her and thought I had genuinely just liked it. I cleared it up with people, but they don't believe me. They think she's pressuring me into saying that. It's a mess and my friend isn't talking to me. Who's the arsehole here? What do I do? Okay, so no, I don't think you're the asshole, but I think that weddings, one day out of your whole entire life, out of the whole entire marriage, and maybe she wasn't crashing out as much, right? Maybe it was all just how you perceived her, but her reacting that way after the wedding ended and being mad because now people see her as a controlling bridezilla, girl, why don't you just tell those people, like, hey, I wasn't really mad whether or not she grew her hair out. Like, that was her business. But also, at the end of the day, if I'm going to have a wedding, I need people to come as they are. Like, sure, maybe you might have to wear a dress. Maybe you might have to wear a suit. But this is why I don't like weddings. And they're just so ridiculous, because it just seems like a big communication, and it's just one day, and people should not have to bend over backwards for free and spend money on your day with someone that you're probably not gonna have a long fulfilling marriage with. Like, let's just talk about it. The marriage rates are really low now. Like, half of the marriages fail. More than half of the marriages fail now. So it's like, why do all of this, or why be disappointed? I would just be like, you know what, show up as you are. We're gonna make it work. If you come bald-headed, that's okay. I love you and your bald head. I love you and your buzz cut. And, you know, we'll just put makeup on you and let bygones be bygones. You know what I mean? But someone getting more upset over how they are perceived as being a bridezilla already gives bridezilla energy. Like, I don't know why she's getting so defensive over that. Just make a post saying, for anyone concerned, I was not asked to grow out my hair. I did it because I did it as I knew it would make my friend happy. Even if she never asked me herself, it was a fun experiment. I enjoyed the different things I'm going to try. But at the end of the day, I missed my short hair and was excited to share that it's back. For anyone that is calling bridezilla or such, they obviously don't know you or her. People are going to draw whatever conclusions they want, and nothing you say will change their mind. Not the asshole. That is true. And so, like, her caring so much about people calling her bridezilla is a little, like, ridiculous. You know, like, who are they? You guys know each other's friendship, but I don't know. That just does that does seem a little bridezilla to me. A little. Like, even if she wasn't intending, like, she didn't really feel a way about, like, the way your hair looked at her wedding. I don't know. Because I'm very, like, pro, like, come as you are, like, wear your hair as you can. It doesn't really bother, like, it shouldn't bother her as much. And, like, I don't know, if one of the bridesmaids doesn't look good to you, then you just don't put them in the pictures. I don't know. To be honest, at this point, OP should just stop talking about it. A long post like that is just going to make people double down on thinking they're being held at gunpoint. Yeah, I think OP's friend is doing too much. I think you should sit like your friend down and be like, chill. If people think you're a bridezilla, you're not. You really shouldn't care how you're being perceived. You got married. I did the thing. If you want me to make a confirmation post being like, hey, I wanted to do this because I just wanted to. I wanted to experiment. You can, but, like, her crashing out like that isn't making things any better. Honestly, I think it's a systemic social media problem, not the bride's problem and not OP's problem, but a problem of trying to communicate in this effed up context where everything personal is automatically public. So we're expected to employ PR skills of a communications major every time we post. Yes, some random little personal factoid about our lives. OP was just making an offhand post from her own POV about her hair to her peeps, but she's also supposed to be analyzing all the ramifications for how it might go down for all the bride's peeps at the same time, and that's just too much to ask for one person at every given moment. Social media is a system rigged for creating drama like this, and it sucks. Nah, it's not the asshole. Nah, not the asshole, except for the billionaires profiting off this content and all pretty little miseries they're causing in real people's lives. And I'm going to close things out here because I do want to talk about that. I absolutely agree. I think the more we started to move into a social media space as communication and how we talk to our friends, the more people go above and beyond to, like, over perceive what someone says online, what someone does online, and take it as a defense or jump to, like, 50,000 conclusions. I find it very interesting. And I didn't realize this until I started watching like some celebrity gossip channels, that, like, some people will make very, like, Like, for example, Olivia Rodrigo was in Paris at night in front of the Eiffel Tower, and everyone, like all the Olivia Rodrigo fans, just assumed that she was getting back at Taylor Swift because Taylor Swift has a song about being at Paris at night and near the Eiffel Tower. And it's just like, girl, what if she just wants to be at the Eiffel Tower at night and she wants to take a picture? Like, everything isn't always that deep. Every time I posted on social media, it never was that deep unless I said, y'all, I'm going through it. Like, guys, I'm going through it. Like, I'm struggling. Outside of that, I never took it that seriously. And I think it's so stupid now with how social media has devolved that we take the offense over the most inoffensive things. If I was a bridesmaid, I wouldn't be like, oh my God, did so-and-so make you keep your hair long for the wedding? That's so effed up. No, I'd be like, oh, that's cute. Like, I wouldn't even think too much into it. Like, I just think it's so crazy how much social media will have your panties up in a bunch because of a miscommunication. Going back to the female rappers really quick, Nicki Minaj is like so annoying for that type of stuff. Even when like the Barbs, like she was like on her inner prime, the Barbs would come to her defense all the time, and she would post like this like super cryptic, like you really had to be chronically online to understand what that woman was saying type of nonsense on Twitter, only to go on Station Head and talk about whatever with a fried brain. Like, I hated that stuff. I hated that because it's like, why is it ever that serious, bruh? It never needs to be that serious. Like, I don't know. I would feel very annoyed if I had like friends on social media that were this particular. Like, and I'm so grateful that I have the friends that I do now where we don't take social media that seriously. Like, we all hang out. They're not really online like that. Like, they don't really have a social media presence like that, if not yet. But like, even then, we can pull each other to the side and be like, is this what you actually meant? Or did you mean something else? Right? Like we'll have a conversation about it. We won't jump to conclusions. And I especially feel like platforms like TikTok will have folks jumping to conclusions, taking sides, unasked for, unprovoked, making crazy ass assumptions. It's just really exhausting. Like, I remember when I'm not on TikTok as much anymore, so I don't really know what's going on there right now. But I remember the oyster gate, the lady who ate like 75 oysters in a lemon drop shot, and the man and she was on a date and the man didn't pay. He got up and left, and she just drank her lemon drop shot and ate her oysters by herself. This was in Atlanta, by the way. And that created discourse. Why? Like, it was just a funny moment. Or like the Cheesecake Factory, the girl turning up because she didn't want to go to Cheesecake Factory on the first date. First of all, I would love to go to Cheesecake Factory on any day. Or a Chili's. Like, I like those places though. Like, it's never that serious. Then there was that discourse. Then I remember the birthday girl. Ooh. And I think I've talked about this before, because I think a lot of people conflate social media. Like, social media is getting to the point where people are using social media to, like, social media advice to implement into their real life. And I think it's getting to the point where people are just like very like anxious and timid of how they're going to be perceived based off of any little thing that they say online. So for example, the birthday girl conversation, where the friend of the birthday girl showed up in the off-brand Mugler, and the birthday girl showed up in a bodycon dress and Jordans, and everyone was like, oh my God. Why would you show up the birthday girl? That's not okay. Like, that whole discourse made it to the Shade Room and Baller Alert. In that order. Like, why? Like, is it ever that serious? And low key, if your friend's hating on you, because what happened is the t-shirt and Jordan girl pulled her friend to the side and said, hey, I feel like you outdressed me on my birthday. I don't think that's okay. And then the non-birthday girl posted it online. And I don't think that, like, she didn't need to do that, right? Like, she wanted some clout. But if your friend feels insecure because you outdressed them on their birthday, girl, that's not your friend. Because you could have wore a t-shirt and Jordans yourself and you still probably would have outdressed them. Like, the fuck? Unless there's like a clear dress code, and usually when I'm with my friends and if it was my birthday and we were eating somewhere, there wouldn't be a dress code. Like, just come as you are. Like, really, just come as you are. Do you need me to help you do your makeup? Like, it doesn't have to be that serious, but some people find it very seriously. Wholly misleading title, Batman. She's not mad at you cut your hair. She's mad at you. She's mad you made her look like a bridezilla. If this reflects your communication style, I can get why she's angry. See, like, no. I can tell. I already know this type of person. What she said was a lighthearted joke. But see, you're always going to get like bad eggs who like take everything so seriously. Like, sometimes it doesn't need to be taken that seriously. Girl, phrasing, wording, framing, context, take a class or something. Oh my God. And never talk to the police or go on a stand at any sort of trial. People on Reddit are so effing rude. And they can be rude. They can be rude because no one's gonna like stalk them or anything, or they're never gonna say this shit to someone's face. Oh my God. And never talk to the police or go on the stand or at any sort of trial. You'll either go to jail or send someone else innocent there. Am I the asshole for saying my friend keeps a 12-year-old girl in his basement? Meanwhile, it's her friend's daughter who gets the old man cave to herself as a bedroom now and is having fun decorating. It's like OP naturally communicates in misleading clickbait. You're the asshole kind of OP. Watch how you talk about other people. I don't think anyone, you, the commenters, etc., would like it if the people around us were this careless with talking about our character, life events, etc. Your examples are hilarious. I couldn't imagine what the comments on a post like that would be like. LOL. People be like, you know what I meant, when no one knows what they meant. Engagement bait. And it worked. We're both here in the comments. Yeah, that is true. I don't know. Social media does, to an extent, hasn't made communication fun anymore, but also has made communication very fun. It's made communication very fun. But it can be very annoying. Especially like TikTok discourse. That shit's annoying. I'm glad I'm not on TikTok anymore because whatever discourse goes on there, it's just like, I also remember during Pride Month, the discourse about like lesbians and bisexuals and Fletcher and Jojo Siwa and like all this other stuff. And I'm like, I think I'm on the wrong side of Pride talk. Where are the black people? I do not care about any of this shit. I actually have to go watch like particular YouTubers to hear about like black queer drama. Like, because I don't know, like, I don't even know about Fletcher really. I just know that she dated a man and the lesbians were upset, and Jojo Siwa was supposed to be the gay icon, and then she dated a man and the lesbians got upset again. And then in between all of that, bisexuals were demanding visibility. Yeah, they were demanding visibility because in like lesbian only spaces, because if they didn't do that, if they didn't get the visibility in those spaces, the lesbians are biphobic. And I don't know, dude. I've always been of the opinion of like, if you're the one that holds the most privilege, then you should probably shut up and not make everything about you. And I don't know, I feel like bisexual people have a lot of privileges because they are attracted to women and men. And if you end up with a man in a relationship, you're going to be a lot more well received than a woman if you end up with a woman. But like, lesbians are only attracted to, for them, like, without the semantics of like trans men and all of that, they're attracted to women. Okay. Trans men and trans women, like, they're attracted to women, and they will almost always get, you know, discriminated or judged for that in a heterosexual society, heteronormative society, whatever the Google buzzwords are. Okay. But yeah, it just felt like discourse that didn't need to happen. Like, it should not be this hard to communicate. I don't know. Anyway, I think I'm done, guys. I think I'm done. I don't have much else to say. I will be on stream tomorrow. No, not tomorrow, on Tuesday, to play Borderlands and figure out where the hell I gotta go because I'm lost. I'm lost in Borderlands. And I got some pretty cool guns now, so I'm happy about that. I like Borderlands 2. It's fun. I don't like what it's turning me into, but I will say I like Borderlands 2. I don't know if I want to be a gamer girl. And then it's like, if I'm a gamer girl, then like, can I still talk about like my pop culture discourse or not? Like, can I still do that? You know what I mean? Yeah. Anyway, guys, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your evening. Thank you so much for coming in and watching. We didn't read a lot of Reddit stories today, but maybe we'll read some more on Sunday. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. I will see you later. Bye.